Hello, everyone. My name is Dr. Maria Lourdes Veneracion Ralionza. I am Associate Professor at the Department of Political Science at the Ateneo de Manila University, and I am the project component of Mournings and the After, or what we call OMTA, of the Areté Sandbox Residency Program. So OMTA is a curation of memory on the narrative of past pains suffered by a collective and how they are transformed by grief or mourning, into lessons of hope. It is about taking a snapshot of lived discourses animated by the storytellers themselves, and in communal struggle for transitional justice. So it's kind of heavy, but then again, the whole point of it is essentially, you try to make sure that whatever happened in the past will not happen again, particularly if they are painful, particularly if they have actually harmed a lot of individuals. The more complete narrative that we are still in progress of actually doing, or more completing, is with regard to what happened in Malisbong. Malisbong is a town in Sultan Kudarat, and it is actually one of the areas wherein a massacre happened in 1974. Men were actually gathered from the town of Malisbong as well as other neighboring towns, and the men were actually put in a mosque, and they called it the Takbil Mosque. The women and children, on the other hand, were herded in the naval boats, and they were actually subjected to the elements, the sun. They were not given water, they were not given food, in the sense that was similar to what happened to the men. They were basically just there in the mosque, and they were not given anything, and they just squatted and just basically sat there without even knowing what will happen to them. Several days later, the massacre happened. The men were basically killed off, and the children who died in the naval boats essentially were thrown overboard, and the women were subjected to sexual slavery. So this is a whole narrative of a community, a shared narrative, and it's something that they essentially would want to move out from. And moving out from there essentially is that narrative of justice, and that is the memory, the empowering memory that we're actually talking about in our project. We want to share these kinds of memories in order for people not to actually think of historical revisionism, and not people to think about stories that are just being conjured up by people. It's not. These are painful memories, and the people want to actually move away from it with their own storytelling, with their own space. And that's the reason why we would like to actually contribute to that space creation, and thus the curation of memories. We have independent working group on transitional justice and dealing with the past that is based in Mindanao. We've also been working with the Transitional Justice League, and also the Commission on Human Rights. So our work actually coalesce and bring together, and that conversation actually continues in the various spaces that each of us actually have. And essentially, this is a very important part of the project that we have at Areté, because we think that this is something that could be magnified even further, and could reach a lot more audience, and be involved in critical conversations.